Hi everyone, I'm super excited to host Kanav Hasija, CEO of MeltPlan, building AI native pre-construction platform. Thanks a lot for being on the show, Kanav.
Hi, Mayur. Thanks for the invite. Looking forward to it.
So Kanav, from mechanical engineering at IIT Kharagpur till MeltPlan, in this journey, what would be your top career highlights?
Well, frankly, between graduating from IIT and starting a MeltPlan, were three big events. One was I went to read law for 1 year in US. My interest was not to read law, but to read the intersection of law and economics. I was trying to figure out how do you value a patent, because one of my inventions was not patented and someone else you know sold it for a big amount, and that kind of cringed me a lot as a teenage kid. So I came to law school for that, which exposed me to the US culture big time. Second big highlight was I was involved in data, because when learned how to value one patent, I wanted to value all the patents in the US because they're publicly available. This was 2011, and in 2011, AI was not there yet. So I was thinking ahead of my time on how to read documents like a patent and put a price tag to them. So I could not scale that to a million patents, so I dropped the idea. But that led me to a journey of understanding that data is going to be the next oil, and how do you manage the data and how do you extract information from it is going to be the next 2 decades of information age. My next company was in health tech. So apparently healthcare data in the US is very fragmented, and if you combine that together, you can take preventive actions, you can make people healthy, you can reduce the cost of healthcare. That's what we tried to do in my last company, which did pretty well. 2 years ago, it saved $3 billion in US healthcare cost, and that was a good impact. Yeah. So after that, I was like, how can, now that AI has come into a stage that it can help read documents and images, I think construction industry is the biggest a a benefactor of that, which it was not till now. So I thought of joining this industry and helping with tech.
That's like it feels like you're looking where you can connect the dots from
Yeah.
various things you did. For healthcare, like people say construction is fragmented and very difficult to penetrate. Healthcare is difficult as well. So what are things you learned the hard way running and building in that industry?
Yeah, I think the couple of things that, I mean, there's lots of things to talk about, but there are a couple of things that surface out the most. One is, it's easier said than done, but harder in practice, is to always build for customers' value. Look customer backward and build for their value. A lot of players or startup enthusiasts think about AI is here, what problem can it solve? That's the wrong way of thinking about it. The right way of thinking about it is, this is my customer problem and this is where the value can be created. What technologies can solve it? And if AI is a part of it, great. If something else is a part of it, let's bring it on. So working customer backwards is very important, and people lose touch and sight of that very fast. Number one. I think number two is, be it healthcare, be it construction, these industries are still about relationships. It's still humans selling to humans, humans serving humans, humans interacting with humans. So relationships still matter. Traveling a lot, going to conferences, meeting customers where they are, going, spending time in their offices. These are all important things which you can't ignore. So I think not losing sight of these two things, that people buy from people they trust, and secondly, you build something that the customer truly values. Two very simple things to say, but they're very hard to execute.
And for like founders who are immigrant in US listening to this and they're planning to make big companies like yours, any playbook you would recommend?
Yeah, immigrant or not, I think US is one of the very few countries where uh, if you have something to sell which is of value, there are buyers who will buy it. They won't see the color of your skin or the accent you have in your tone. They will buy something if you have value. I think the only difference I would say is, if you can't find the first few customers, like, be vulnerable, be honest, be authentic, and try to not go to the biggest of the biggest prospects. Try to go to medium, or, not small, not too big. Go to the medium prospects. because they are also looking for love. They are looking for someone who can help them. Is there a techie out there who understands my problem and they can help them? Like they're also looking for someone. So find those people who are looking out for people like you, and be authentic and be vulnerable. Like tell them that you have and what you don't have right now. Don't talk yourself up, because if you talk yourself up, you don't get the right trust with people.
Great piece of advice. Moving from like healthcare to construction, would like to know how the early days of finding the problem fit look like. How were you exploring the space?
Yeah, so I think being a second time founder definitely helped me a lot. Uh, to go with the first principle thinking, to go top down, to look at the market sideways, bottom up. I think my whole journey was, I took a break for about 6 months from my last startup. I It was a 12-year long journey, so it was a bit stressing for my body. I had to de-stress, get healthy, get back to shape, start de-aging a bit. I aged a lot during my first startup process, so I had to de-age back a bit. I still have the white hair from my last one, but yeah, once I de-stressed, detoxified my body, and de-stressed myself, I went on to a journey of exploration. So the first principal problem that I found was the world's GDP is $100 trillion. Construction is 14 trillion. So $1 in $7 in the world is spent in construction. It's the second biggest industry in the world after financial services. Why is this the only industry whose productivity is declining for last 4 decades? I was shocked with that stat. Why? How can, like, whenever I talk to people, they are amazing people in this industry. Like, they're smart people in this industry. They're hustlers. They're doing a good job. It's not their fault. It's not the fault of the people in the industry. It's something more systemic. I wanted to find that root cause. What's the systemic root cause for this productivity decline? And then, can technology help to solve that root cause? Because if it cannot, then why even force fit my tech talent to that problem? It can't solve it. So when we discovered the whole process, we found out what's happening at the core level. So Empire State Building was built in New York City in 19 months. From first sketch all the way to the president cutting the ribbon for the opening was 19 months. This was 1931. 85 years later, Salesforce Tower was built in 7 years. Okay, just slightly shorter than height, than Empire State, and the span as well. So similar size buildings after 85 years took 3x longer time. Right? Why is that happening? There are about 40 skills required to build a building. You need an architect, a mechanical engineer, plumbing engineer, fire life safety, so on and so forth. Right? Those 40 skills were housed under 3 companies when Empire State Building was built. Those 40 skills are now housed under 30 companies. An owner only hires an architecture firm and a general contractor firm. But the architecture firm hires all the engineering firms, the GC hires all the subcontractors. So there are 30 companies involved in building a building. Forget about building, planning the build of the building. And so that was one issue. There was a lot of fragmentation of teams. And because of fragmentation of teams, a decision from one team will affect the decision of the other team, but they don't communicate real time. The second problem was, I tell this to my software engineers, you are lucky because if you ship a buggy code, you can still fix it. You can fix the bug. You can't ship a buggy building. Once shipped, it's done. Like that building is there for next 50 years, right? Unless you wanted to do renovations and structural improvements, which is very costly. So planning is more important, very important in construction. And any change during planning process was a big issue because all the tools in construction, which is construction management, were designed with the premise that change is bad, which is a good thought. During construction, change should be bad. There should be red flags raised, change orders raised. Are we going to accept them or not? So all those workflows during construction is a good thing. But you can't pick up those same tools and apply in pre-construction, because in pre-construction planning is good, like change is good, like do as much change as possible. But every change you need to navigate across those 30 companies to figure out, is that change compliant to the regulations? What is the cost impact? What is the timeline impact? Can we do it? Are we allowed to do it? What is the value engineering of it? So that's the problem we realized when I went out in the market and saw. And then I said, let me go to the trade shows. The best way to understand the market is go to the trade shows. So I booked my ticket to like 6 trade shows in that span of 5 months of that research, and I went to all those trade shows and I checked all the booths, I checked all the vendors, what they're doing. I was surprised by three things, Mayur, which as an outside in guy coming in, there was such a fragmentation of point solutions and tools in pre-construction. There's a tool for takeoff, then there's a tool for estimating it, the cost on top of the takeoff. Then there's a tool for scoping out the bids to different subcontractors. Then there's a tool for distributing those bids. Then there's a tool for leveling those bids. Then there's a tool for code compliance. Then there's a tool for scheduling. Then there's a tool for procurement, and the list goes on. And I was like, how can someone plan better with so many tools? And the second thing was the biggest differentiation that the best vendors were speaking on top of their voices in those conferences was, we are a SaaS solution, we are on the cloud. We are in 2025. And in 2025, the biggest differentiation I'm hearing from all the vendors is we are on the cloud and we are a SaaS solution. When I saw these two insights along with the market insights, I was like, this is the right time to enter, and I would love to enter and solve this for this industry.
I really like the logical and first principles thinking here. I'm also wondering when you like, we also hear studies where people from Google started like AC industry and they're like Katera and other like failure stories also which went big. And does that also like cause some concern when you're like, okay, like there are a lot of smart people try to disrupt.
No, absolutely. I think there are this industry is filled with red flags, right? I mean, when the first red flag was obviously something as big as Katera kind of failed, right? To all the way to like, why aren't there enough venture outcomes, successful venture outcomes from this industry? Like, there's only Autodesk and Procore, which has crossed $1 billion in revenue, right? Very few have crossed 100 million in revenue. So why is that? And I just got comfortable with the fact that that is because construction industry is full of documents and images. 98% of data in this industry is documents and images. Up until the AI was there, these documents and images could not be computed. Software could not even touch them. So every software solution was asking human to do more. Asking the human, you upload your document and then you also add some notes and some structured fields into my data, into my software, and only then I will help you. So it was asking the humans to do more work on their software and get less from it. AI is changing that. AI is saying you just have to upload the document. I will do all the reading and thinking and intelligence for you. So that divide between how much effort do I put in the software and how much value do I get back from it, that delta is increasing now. And the more value you get back from the software and you put less effort in, there's going to be more adoption. So the slower adoption of tech in this industry was primarily for that reason. I mean, I myself will not adopt a technology if I'm having to put more effort to get something back from it, right? So that was the fundamental shift for me, and that has to change.
So if I get it correctly, there was a friction of adapting new tools. There was friction of inputting in the right format to make that tool useful. And since this general purpose AI models are getting so better, that the friction of human work to get software compatibility has drastically reduced, and that has opened up opportunity.
Yeah, the general models are getting better. They're not there yet for construction. They are working on it, but like, we are building our own models. We are harnessing the general models even better. We're doing all of that stuff to cover the gaps of these big models today. They're improving, no doubt. But players like us have to come in and create more harnesses to make sure that the biggest complaint. I hear both the things from this industry. I hear AI will take our jobs away. At the same time, at the same breath, I hear AI doesn't work. Both are true at the same time. If AI doesn't work, why will it take your job away, right? I think the underlying undercurrent that we are seeing in both these statements is AI is not the foundational AI models, the general purpose AI models are not able to solve the problems of this industry. But if it's harnessed well, what do I mean by that? There are three problems in AI that everyone's having. Is it reliable? If I prompt the same prompt again and again, will it give the same answer? Or will it change the answer, right? Is it trustworthy? Can I trust it? Can it give me some proof points of where it got the answer from? What are the sources? How it thought about it? Like, so I can trust it more. And the third is it accurate enough? Like, is it does it know my industry? Does it know my codes? Does it know my building materials? How the means and methods of building it? Like, Does it know all that stuff to give me accurate results? You need the AI to do all those three things. And today, the foundation models are weak in all of them. So you need to create enough harnesses to make sure that those three are good, and then the industry will feel comfortable to adopt these solutions.
Like I always hear second time founders think about distribution first. Curious to know how are you like translating and thinking about pilots, growth in construction.
No, good point. I think this industry is a very interesting industry, wherein the top 100 players don't contribute more than, I mean, by players, I mean customers, architecture firms, engineering firms, contractor firms. The top 100 in each one of them. Engineering is a slightly outlier, but architecture and construction, the top 100 firms do not contribute 80% of the market. They contribute like 5% or 10% of the market, right? It's a very fragmented market. It's a very mid-heavy market. It's very heavy in the middle, not the top. When it's a mid-heavy market, your products needs to speak for itself. It needs to be self-discoverable. It needs to be self-triable. Like people can try it themselves. They can make their own decisions. They can buy it. So while we are making it enterprise ready and we're making it enterprise grade, we're also making them self-discoverable and self-usable, like DIY products, because that will increase the distribution. Also, like this the whole thing about, first buy my product. I'm going to give you a cute demo, then you buy my product, then you are stuck with me for that 1 year or 2 years, and then all that stuff like that. And then I will have someone teach you how to use my product, and we will do training sessions and all that stuff. Like the product needs to be intuitive enough to be used by themselves and not go through all these cycles. And if they don't like it, they don't like it. Like let them try it. If it's good, they will like it, right? So I'm putting a lot of self discovery and trial in the process so that it can scale for mid heavy as well and not just the enterprise. I think the second thing is, uh, we need to create some kind of network effects here, right? For it to grow. So it's a very fragmented market. That's a problem, but that can also be an opportunity, which is, can you help one fragment sell to the other fragment? So can you find those ways for one fraction of a cohort to help you sell to the other fraction of a cohort by creating some network effects in your product and your distribution. So those are the kind of things we are kind of dealing with and kind of figuring out right now.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, like, the startup that which startup comes to my mind who has successfully implemented product-led motion or like in construction tech. Because often I see account-based approach for enterprise focusing on ENR 400 accounts. Like this bottom up is relatively tough because of getting a traffic.
Yeah, I didn't mean bottom up. Bottom up is tough. You're right. What I meant is, one of the reasons why most startups don't cross $100 million of ARR in this industry is, A, they are focused on only building one product, not multiple products. And B, they're only focusing on selling it to the ENR top 400. But the market is very mid heavy. There is a 400 to 20,000. That list is a lot of lists, but it's tough to reach to them. But if your product can reach to them in a self-serve way, like you can reach to those 400, can you reach to the top 400 through a bottom-up scenario that, every estimator or every scheduler is saying, hey, this is a great tool, let's use it. I'm not saying that will still be top down, but I'm saying those 400 to 20,000 contractors still need the product. No one's selling it to them. They just get to use whatever they feel like, or they're stuck with it. I'm saying give them an option to try it out for themselves, right? That's that. I think second is, so that most startups stick with only one product. They don't go to the second and the third and the fourth product. That's how they kind of don't increase their TAM and their revenue as well. The second is, and I still don't know the answer why, but whenever a startup crosses a 5 or 10 million of ARR, they get acquired by the big four in this industry, right?
Mm.
Very few players play the long game. So those are the two reasons why it's not happening. Uh, but we should think differently about it.
How are you thinking about roadmap hiring in this AI world?
Yeah, no, good question. I think definitely from the last startup to this one, I think the size of team that you need is very small. So my focus is, and it's very tough to maintain that discipline and that focus, but my focus always is to keep on increasing the bar of the people I want to hire and hire less people who have high agency and who have a broader range of coverage. Well, in this world of AI, you can cover a broader range of your skills. You might be great at design, but now you can also build front end part of the apps. You might be good at front end, but you can also do good design now. So you can go both ways. You are good at marketing, but you can also do marketing tech. Uh, right? So there is the breadth of span of work is increasing per employee with AI, and that makes the team size shrink, and we are doing that also. I think on the roadmap side, we are very strategic and thoughtful about the problems we want to solve, which is we want to be in pre-construction. In pre-construction, where do people make most mistakes, which impact their margins? It's a very low margin industry, so how can we help them increase their margins? So where do people make mistakes? Where do they spend a lot of time? How can we help improve their margins? We are focusing on that. So customer backward, as I started with you as the roadmap. So that still remains the same. The nuances in each of those verticals, in each of those products, are changing very fast with customers, thanks to AI. So we are literally able to like ship features within, we are able to ship like thrice or four times a week versus like, being shipping like once in 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
That's very drastic. What has been your proudest moment in the startup till date?
In MeltPlan, there have been a couple. One was uh, we just started to commercialize like 2 months ago. So we have been building for last 1 year. We went to the market like 2 months ago. So it's only been 2 months in the market. One of our customers, she's an architect, and she's one of the paying customers for our code compliance product. Our AI agent wrote the email to her. She had a question. Our AI agent replied to her questions. She signed up by herself. She tried the product. She liked it. She tried for like 3 weeks. We have a 1 month trial. She tried for 3 weeks. She put in the credit card to buy a 1 year subscription, and she bought it. So without any human touch from day one of like no marketing, no sales. Everything was AI and her to self-serve and kind of use the product and like it. That was our first non-human sale. That was a very good. It was a very small sale, but it's still good. Like we just want to keep on compounding that, right? So that was one. I think the second one just happened yesterday itself. In one of the big, I was in one of the largest architecture firms in the US. I was in a lunch session with them, and one of the very old principals was in the session, and we talked about how our product is good and how it's better than the competition. Showed them the product, they loved it, and after the lunch, this principal guy, the oldest one in the company, came and said, "I have a client, and he's stuck with me for one query which we have been struggling with for last 3 weeks. I know we will buy a product sometime down the road. It's gonna need some more hops to cross, which we will do that. But can I try that client's query in your system right now?" And I was like, "Sure, let's go ahead." We went in, we tried the query, we solved his query in like 5 minutes that he was stuck for like last 3 weeks. And his client obviously has to spend less money building that, because there was one of the big questions which, if not solved properly, would have had a huge build out cost. So it saved client money, it saved world less carbon footprint, and all that kind of good stuff. But ultimately, like, he could solve very. I could see the spark on his face when say, this, if it's done right, it can really solve the problems. They have been burned and scratched with ChatGPT and Gemini. They try, it hallucinates, they lose the trust with AI. But with us, like, they could like feel it. Like, if AI is done well, like, it really works. So when I saw that in action on real scenarios, like, these are the kind of moments that just make you keep on building every day.
These are such a great stories. Lastly, how does the week in your life look like?
Weeks have become years now in the world of AI. But yeah, it's everything, like building. I don't get enough time, but I code a bit with my team, so I contribute to the codes a bit. Not a lot these days, but thanks to AI, I'm able to contribute with less time as well. So it's building, it's hiring, it's selling, marketing, educating the market about what AI can do and cannot do. It's all of that. And I think in this, people say that AI has reduced the work effort. That is true, but it has also made our days longer because we can do more with it. So once you can do something more with something, you want to spend more time on it. So our days have become longer. But I feel happy. Like, I'm not stressed. Like, even if I'm working like, say, 16 hours a day, 6 days a week, working on the seventh day also partially. Like it's not stressful and as it used to be like 3 4 years ago. So it's much more fun. The spectrum has increased of what you can do with AI now. So I have a bigger spectrum to solve for as a CEO. But again, my responsibilities is still remain like as a business for the CEO. The important thing is, do you have enough cash to run the business? Do you have the right team to build it? Are you solving the right problems? Are the customers buying it? Are the customers finding value from it? These are the five things that ultimately build a business. So just keep on doing those five things every day.
It's great to hear like multiple fold in productivity, but also happiness. So yeah. I have a rapid fire to wrap up. You have less than 5 seconds to answer. You got to keep it super brief.
Okay, let's do it.
What's your favorite restaurant?
My favorite restaurant is Indian Accent in New York and Delhi.
What's a city or country which is in your travel bucket list?
Peru.
Any book which made a big impact in your life?
Geez, that's a tough one. One book. There are many. I can't just put one to it. Yeah, it's tough.
Your role model?
I don't have a role model. I just take inspiration from a lot of people. So it's very tough to put one person on the pedestal of a role model because no one's perfect. So everyone has their flaws, and you just need to extract the good of from everyone and not the flaws. So there are many of them.
3 words your best friend would describe you as.
A risk taker, data geek, and builder.
Your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Well, the old classic ones would be Top Gun.
What would be your piece of advice to your 18-year-old self?
Oh, wow. The world will keep on becoming more dynamic and more crazy around you. Be patient and believe in what you believe in, and the world will come back to you.
Awesome. Anything which we didn't cover in this interview and you'd like to share that message on a closing note?
Yeah, I would just say for all the builders in the construction industry and all the entrepreneurs that are watching your show, I would say if you haven't leaned into AI yet, do that. It sounds scary. It might be wrong, but if you don't lean into it, if you don't stretch it, if you don't experiment it to a level to know its boundaries, you don't know where it fails and where it succeeds. So, like anything else in life, if you keep on trying it a lot, you will know where it's good at and where it's bad at. So, just not trying it from and sitting outside and making comments will be harmful for you. But I would rather say use it. It's getting better every day. You will know where the limits are.
Great. Thanks a lot, Kanav, for sharing your work and story.
Thanks, Mayur, for having me.